for dinner, I'm gonna be making like a little hamburger, green bean casserole kind of dish. It's low carb, it's keto, and it's gonna be pretty simple. I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm gonna use the mushrooms that I have left in this container. You're gonna need some sour cream, a little bit of beef broth, just a little bit of cream cheese, 1 large onion. You're gonna need some garlic, some Worcestershire, and then just a little bit of shredded cheddar to sprinkle over the top of it at the end. And then you're gonna need some green beans. These are my favorite green beans. They're the Margaret Holmes seasoned Italian green beans, and I don't know how many of these I'm gonna use yet. So I've got 2 cans here, but I may end up only using 1 can. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these mushrooms cleaned and chopped. I'm gonna get this onion chopped, and I'm gonna get those in a skillet and just get those all nice and soft. And then when I'm done with those, I'm gonna just get my hamburger meat cooked up. And I just made some little sausage egg cup things. So I've got just a teeny bit of sausage grease left in the pan here, just a little bit. And that's what I'm gonna cook these mushrooms and onions up in. I've got my mushrooms and onions going, and I ended up adding about, I don't know, maybe half a tablespoon of Worcestershire to this, just because I don't think I had enough oil in there from the sausage. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit of this fajita seasoning that I like to use. I get this at Walmart. I just took my mushrooms and onions out, and then I got my 2 pounds of hamburger meat in the same pan that I cooked these in, and I just seasoned it with the exact same fajita seasoning, and it's just about ready. And I will get all the grease out of it, and then I will add these vegetables. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll show you what I do next. I'm gonna add 2 heaping teaspoons of chopped garlic to this, half a cup of beef broth, half a cup of sour cream, and then you're gonna add about 4 ounces of cream cheese, and you're just gonna get all of this mixed together until the cream cheese softens and everything starts to incorporate. That's what the meat mixture is looking like. I did end up adding a little bit more Worcestershire and then some more of the fajita seasoning because it wasn't seasoned enough for me. I like my stuff very thoroughly seasoned, and I also like salty stuff. I think it was because I was on carnivore for so long and I was so used to having so much salt with my meals, but I do use healthy salt. So I'm gonna let this continue to come together for just a minute, and then I'm gonna get my mushrooms and onions added in and 1 can of green beans and see what that looks like. Y'all, I just tasted this and it is so good. You could eat it, you could stop right here and eat it just like this and it would be delicious. I'm gonna put mine in a casserole dish and just sprinkle with just a little bit of cheddar cheese and just let it bake for just a few minutes. But I promise you, it is so good like this. I just think my kids will like it more if I do it more as a casserole. The trick is you have to use the Margaret Holmes green beans. If you have not tried the Margaret Holmes green beans, you are missing out on the green bean game because they are the best green beans I've ever had. They have so much flavor. I don't know what they do to them, but you got to use those. I'm about to pop it in a 350-degree oven for just about 15 minutes. That's all the cheese I had shredded up already, and I'm too lazy to shred another block of cheese, so that's just what we're going with. So I'll just let that go for about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Just took it out, and that is what it's looking like. You probably can leave the beef broth out if you wanted to, because I felt like it made it just, you can't see it, but just a little bit juicier than I would like. But you can add it in if you want. I mean, I just thought it would add extra flavor, but it is kind of, it's pretty juicy in the bottom. Let's try it. I'm kind of scared. That's so good. I'm telling you, those green beans. You don't have to make this much either if you don't want to. I just did a double batch of this because I never know who's going to be eating here for dinner or not. So I did 2 pounds of hamburger. 1 pound will definitely not feed my family, even if there is no one else eating here besides us. So I usually always do 2 pounds whenever I cook anything with hamburger meat. So flavorful, so rich, low carb, keto. It's so good, y'all. Let me know if you make it.